Hello, my name is Joseph Nicholson, and this is my project for video games and literature. And today I'll be reviewing the hit game Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. Now, what is Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2? Other than a mouthful of a name, what is this game? What is it about? What makes it good? What makes it bad? Why do people love it? Why do people hate it? Why do I enjoy this game? And why is it important to me? All these are great questions that you'll get the answers to in this video. So please sit back and relax and allow me to paint you a story. For this story, I'm going to have to take you back to October 16th, 2016, when this game first released. The hype around this game's announcement was unexpected to say the least, with the first game dropping a little over a year ago in February of 2015, aka Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1. People weren't expecting another release so soon, especially because the gap in between Dragon Ball games before Xenoverse 2 reached up almost to 5 years before you would get another Dragon Ball game. So this was a pretty unexpected announcement. However, when Xenoverse 2 came out, it showed us the true potential of the Xenoverse series, giving us an open world to roam around in, hundreds of missions and stories to play through and complete. With this game's release, it really made Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1 feel like a test run, and that this was the fully fledged out project. But what is Dragon Ball Xenoverse even about? Good question. It's a combat RPG based on the world of Dragon Ball Z, where you play as a custom created character known as a time patroller. And time patrollers are people that help keep history and timelines of Dragon Ball Z in check, preventing things and people from altering the outcomes of history. Originally in Xenoverse 1, you are a legendary warrior, created and summoned by the Dragon Balls. And the person that summons you is Trunks, a character from Dragon Ball Z that time travels here and there and throughout the series, but it's never introduced like this. And Trunks works as a fellow time patroller alongside you, and you both work for the Supreme Kai of Time. And basically, the Supreme Kai of Time is the god of time in this universe, and she has to make sure all of history stays in check. So now, in Xenoverse 2, you play as a time patroller in Kanton City. And this is a city built up of a bunch of time patrollers that joined after your first character's success in Xenoverse 1. And you end up moving up in the chain through a luck of a draw pick to fill a larger role in Time Patrol, aka working with Trunks, your older character, in the Supreme Kai of Time. So this game sounds pretty simple, right? You're fighting evil time alterers that make anomalies throughout Dragon Ball history, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Simple and straightforward. So why do people even like this game? From the sounds of it, you're just playing through all of Dragon Ball Z, which isn't that much different from just sitting down and watching the show. Sure, there are intervals that you get where you see your character in cutscenes, but outside of that, the game sounds really underwhelming. Well, the reason why people enjoyed this rerun through the series is the fact that you couldn't predict what they'd change about the show's history. What do I mean by that? When you go through the game's story, you're fighting anomaly after anomaly, but you can't predict who's going to show up for you to fight. This created a sense of suspense, not just for players new to Dragon Ball Z as a whole, but for long-time viewers as well. Developers of this game gave fans long awaited fan service in these games, allowing for what if fights and scenarios to fully exist. Like, what if Nappa was alive when Vegeta turned into a great ape? Or what if Cooler was there when Frieza got resurrected and came to destroy Earth? And even events like what if Trunks actually went back in time to save future Gohan? This game gave fans what they were craving for, and on top of that, it allowed them to put themselves in those scenarios to help fight for the greater good. So, why is it when you look online now and see the reviews of this game, it looks like everyone hates it? Well, it's because of really a handful of things, but two really big things. The first being DLC, and the other being the online player modes. First, the DLC. The creation of the DLC content in this game had to be one of Bandai's biggest mistakes that they could have made. At first, the expansion packs were fun. You got to see new what if fights in the game, along with adding the moves from up-to-date seasons of Dragon Ball into the current game. But it's gotten to the point where they've overdone it. It took a once fully fledged out story and game and misconstrued it through the overabundance of new content. The game used to be about thrilling twists and turns paired with the fun battles and quests you could go on with friends. Now it's a big race to see who can purchase the DLC first and make their character more powerful. With the rise and taking over of DLC, Bandai grew lazy with the series, going from having a game written, designed, and made within 1 year to releasing maybe an update or a patch once every 7 months. It's gotten so bad that the last successful Dragon Ball game that released and didn't die within the span of the month was Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. Sure, you had games like Dragon Ball FighterZ, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, Dragon Ball Squadra, and even Dragon Ball The Breakers that were released over the years, but all except for one, which ironically released just this year, has dwindled in player count due to each of these games' massive overproduction of DLC, making each game feel like Bandai was trying to catch that previous high they got from releasing the first batches of DLC for Xenoverse 2. Matching this with the complaints from fans, complaining that the games were unbalanced, begging for patches, bugs, and fixes, asking devs to fix connection issues that have been in the game for over 9 years. People begging Bandai Namco to invest in some sort of anti-cheat because hackers and modders were getting out of hand. Fans pleaded that they even fix the drop rates on side quests and missions so people won't have to play a singular quest 100 times to unlock one move or outfit. So you hear all this and you begin to wonder, how could someone even love a game like this? How could someone hop on for hours and hours and hours on end and still have fun? Why do I still enjoy this game? I remember when I first saw the announcement for Xenoverse 2. I was 9 years old at the time, and I was at my grandma's house. I didn't watch gaming news or events like E3, so whenever I heard about a new game, it was either from one of my older cousins or in an ad on TV. So I was sitting in the living room watching Nickelodeon, eating cereal. The commercials were on, so I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention to the screen. But then the TV went dark. I thought I had sat on the remote or something, or the power in the TV had gone out. Then the golden letters fading in, saying, Bandai Namco presents. I started thinking it was an old ad for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1 playing on TV. Then I saw parts and pieces of maps that I had never seen before, NPCs and characters that I'd never seen in the game. Then a white screen with a scroll surrounded by a mystic purple aura with scenes from Dragon Ball Z animated in Xenoverse's art style. Then in the final scene, the game's logo, an XV but in a new color, with the title Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 appearing over it. I was ecstatic. I asked my grandma to call my cousin so I could tell them about the game. Of course, they already knew because they saw the announcement before on their phones, but I still told them. I asked her to call my dad so he could buy the game for me. And ever since that moment, I've spent hundreds of hours on this game, from its highest moments to its lowest, buying every DLC, playing every event, staying up to 4 a.m. for update releases, and even translating pages from Japanese to English just to find out what the devs had planned for the next update. I have so many fond memories of just me and the boys playing this game from this time. I have so many fond memories of just me and the boys playing this game from the time the sun went down and until it came back up, staring us in our faces. We fought each other in this game. We trained with each other in this game. We got better with each other in this game. We even sat down and grinded hours upon hours just to help each other collect new moves in this game. That's why this game is important to me. That's why I still enjoy this game. Not about the reviews or the overabundance of bugs and overuse of DLC content. It's always been about the memories it helped me create. My name is Joseph Nicholson, and this is my review of Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2.